Okay, Jeff here at Deep Cycle Battery San Diego. So today what we're looking at is a 2020 EZGO RXV 48 volt, and you can see this is the battery compartment that used to have the lead acid batteries. Today what we're going to do is put in a 48 volt, actually it's 51 volt, but Dakota Lithium iron phosphate 96 amp hour single battery to power this RXV. And the dimensions I came up with should allow the battery to sit right in here, and we're going to try to use the factory hold down hardware that came from the lead acid batteries as a support. So let's grab the Dakota. Doesn't weigh nearly as much as the 4 12 volt lead acid batteries, and it does find a nice real home right here inside this tray battery compartment. And then what I noticed is that the battery hold downs have these separators in here. So what we're going to do is take a saw, we're going to cut these. So my idea is to lay this flat on top as the hold down. Okay, so I was able to get this cut. I used a handsaw. I thought I was going to use a skill saw, but I just decided to be safe and just used a handsaw. I got that cut. So now with those fins removed, this piece sits flat on top of the battery. And then we're going to grab the hold down hardware, the factory stuff that came, and hopefully yours is in good shape. I had to clean mine off. And we're going to use these in the 3 positions, 1, 2, and 3 in the back. And we'll get this guy secure. Okay, so I got the back one on, and I'm going to take the strap that comes with the cart. I'm going to see if I can repurpose this to use to hold the batteries in. So we'll just lay this down across. We'll just put a little washer here, and then use the nuts that came off the battery terminals. And I'm not going super tight on this. I'm just going to give it a place to stay for the moment so I get the front put on. And just hold it like that. So it should be loosey-goosey. Now I'm going to work on the front. When you're doing the front, it may help to know is that this J-hook here can just drop through the slot and then just go down there and grab the spot that it hooked into. Now you're going to have quite a bit of this. You're going to have quite a bit of this left over. These nuts may not sink all the way down. These threads get corroded. So if you have to do, you can put some extra spacers in here just so that you can put some pressure on this. Okay, working on these hold down hardware, you can see they're quite tall. So when the deep socket goes through, you can't get a ratchet on it. So what I'm doing, I'm just putting them down by hand tight, and I'm rotating to each one to give them a good bite. They really don't have to be locked down super hard. If you want to improvise and put some channel locks on here and give it a twist, that's great. I'm just doing this because I'm going to do a range test on this battery and then switch out to another lithium battery. I really like the Dakota. It's got an 11-year warranty. So next we got this. It's not going anywhere. Don't forget to use the T45 Torx to put this guy back together. Anyway, it's nice and tight. Let's move on to the next part. Okay, well, some good news and bad news. The good news is, with a little bit of cable management, all the positive cables can make the run to the positive terminal of the battery. Just barely enough room. In case they weren't going to make it, what I was going to do was send the positives to this power post and then put a remote cable from the power post to the terminal and mount that over here. But I don't have to do that. If you have a golf cart that you do have to do that, I'll put a link, of course, affiliate link, disclaimer, in the content below. So with that said, now the bad news is the M8 hex head bolts that Dakota gives you are quite short. Not enough thread or bolt to capture all these. So I went down and picked up some longer M8s. And so with that said, we're going to put the biggest cable down first and then start stacking them, and then connect the positive. And then last, we're going to do the negative. Okay, well, I'm not going to lie. So I put together the cables, as you can see, and then it dawned on me that the Dakota battery comes with the charger. And we forgot to put the charger harness, which consists of 2 cables, positive and negative eyelets, and then an Anderson plug, an SB50. And that needs to be attached here. Now the kit comes no charge extra with a 48 volt 8 amp charger, which I'm not going to use. I actually paid for the upgrade. I'm going to put in the cart a 48 volt 15 amp charge, and it says 15 amp right there, because it's going to charge the battery much quicker. And that battery, or that charger, is going to live right over here next to the DC or the 48 to 12 volt step down converter, right in this area right here. So let's just put the charger aside, and let me remove these, and then I'm going to put back on these wire harness for the charger. So the other end of the DC end of the charger has, like I told you earlier, was the SB50. So we're just going to go ahead and make that connection and get that guy together. And they actually have negative and positive marked on the outside of the case. So negative, negative, snap that together. And then I'll clean this all up. I'll find a home for these cables to get away out of the way and do some management. But basically, I just want to show you that this install is really DIY friendly. There's a couple ways to use this charger. You can mount it in the cart, or you can use this as a quick disconnect and just leave the pigtail in the cart, which I might end up doing. There's not a lot of room in here with the DC converter, so I might just leave this and be able to just connect it like that. But for the moment, let's just see if you want to leave the charger on board. You can find a home for it. It does have the AC outlet here, and it would fit in there nicely. And if you wanted to zip tie it or build some base for it, it will go in that spot.